What's up, MK Squad? Welcome back to another legendary Top of the Mook reaction video. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, man. If you already subscribed, we thank you. We truly appreciate you, and you are a blessing. So today, we got a highly anticipated, recommended video, and I'm excited to react to it today. But before we do that, please, guys, it's free. You know, it helps me out a ton. Hit that like button. It helps out the YouTube algorithm. And make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. And so we got the dark side of One Direction. Yes, guys, we got the video. We got it. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna do no more talking. I'm gonna get straight into the video. And before that, one more thing. I'm sorry. Make sure you comment down below any videos y'all want us to react to, because we sure will be reacting to them. Now, let's go.
Is anybody ready for this?
I'm ready. I'm ready. Come on,
hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, or if this is your first time watching me, hello, my name is Jasmine. This is my channel, Hey Angel, where I make One Direction videos, updates, reactions, entertainment videos, anything related to the 1D boys, it's all here. But I also have a main channel called Jasmine Zaid. If you want to go check out my vlogs and other stuff, it's always linked in the description. Okay. So the video that I'm going to be filming today is a video that has been highly requested by a lot of you for months and months and months. Ever since I uploaded a Q&A a few months ago where I talked about how the boys were treated by their management, a lot of people have been commenting asking me to make a full-length video talking about the mistreatment and the truth about what happened while those boys were in One Direction.
Yeah, what happened?
I held filming this video for a really long time.
I want to know.
I was scared to. I was afraid that I was going to get things wrong, or I was also scared that I would make the video and it wouldn't be good enough, or something along those lines. But recently I've been doing a lot of thinking, and I decided that I do want to do it. So I spent lots and lots of time gathering up enough research and information that I could to put together this video for you guys. I think the main reason I do want to film this video is to get across that yes, One Direction seemed to be a boy band that had it all, but there was a lot going on behind the scenes that a lot of people are...
Before she keep going, just know we all battle something, man. We all battle with something spiritually, mentally, physically, financially. You know what I mean? The whole nine. We all battling something. We battle with something. We're not perfect individuals. We make mistakes. So, yes, One Direction, we One Direction family. You know, we family. They're not perfect, but they're amazing. You feel what I'm saying? They're just amazing. They're amazing. They're talented. They're very creative, artistic, the whole nine. But we stand beside them and what they battle with, because we are struggling with something. Just like their music help us get through stuff, or help us get more upbeat, or help us get out of a mood that we don't want to be in, negative wise. You feel what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So, and plus, music at the end of the day is basically just like a book. It tells a story. It tells a story. It tells a feeling. It tells a mood. It you know, it's heartfelt. So, you know, their songs have messages, and we all know that. You know what I'm saying? It's obvious. I'm stating the obvious here, but I just wanted to put that out there as she go on and say, look, we all made it as though they were, you know, this perfect band. They're perfect. They're excellent. They're good enough, and they'll always be enough because they're amazing. You know what I'm saying?
Aren't even aware of. It is something that needs to be brought to light and that people should know about them, because they went through a lot. The point of this video isn't to completely just like trash One Direction as a band and drag them through the mud and make it seem like everything was so miserable. There's a lot of horrible toxic things that happen in that band, but they all also have talked about the good side of it too. So don't watch this video and think that One Direction was just completely 100% awful. The toxicity was a part of it, but yes, they also had good times too. I'm just bringing awareness to the dark side of it, hence the title of this video. Another little disclaimer I want to make is that this video has nothing to do with Larry Stylinson. I know there's a lot of things that happen in One Direction that people relate to Larry, and a lot of people don't like their management because of Larry and things they've done to Larry and stuff like that, which, yes, that's a valid point to make, but I'm trying to make this video about One Direction, not about Larry. All of my sources and places that I got quotes and information from will be linked in the description if you want to go and check them out for yourselves. If you want to read these articles and see where these quotes and such came from, I will definitely have my sources linked down below so you guys can go check them out for yourselves. So with all of that being said, we can get started with this monster of a video. Here we have the dark side of One Direction.
The truth. life in One Direction.
I'm going to try to make this video at least somewhat organized and break everything that I want to talk about down into sections and then subsections so that we can kind of explore everything together without getting confused and all jumbled up. So the first thing I want to talk about when it comes to things that were wrong with One Direction is how heavily branded and marketed they were by their management and their team and Simon Cowell.
Issue 1. One Direction's management were the sole deciders of the boys' appearances, personalities, and how they were perceived. Well, that goes along with branding, you see what I'm saying? So you gotta be perceived a certain way, you gotta look a certain way. It's like a stereotypical thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm not the management. The dark side of this is basically management controlling them, I feel as though. And I think the majority of this is going to be what it's about. Like my recent reaction video, you know, the mistreatment. Go check that out. It will be in the description below if you haven't watched that. But you have to be branded. You have to look a certain way to be branded a certain way just to be viewed, I feel like. And that's what's wrong, because all these guys are genuinely themselves. You see what I'm saying? And that's what makes them so amazing. They don't try to be something they're not. But it's hard when you got another force, which is the management, a social force that's saying, oh, you gotta look this way, you gotta be this way, you gotta, like, just imagine someone keep hackling you about you being a certain way or something. You know, at the while it starts destroying yourself within, because you're constantly compromising yourself. But when they get on that stage, it's just so wonderful because you can see they're their self. You see what I'm saying? But behind the scenes, we don't see this.
One Direction was branded and marketed a very specific way in many different aspects to appeal to a young audience of teenage girls. Basically what I mean is how they looked and how they were perceived was completely decided by their management and their team and everyone in charge in order to make them likable and appeal to a certain specific audience. Like I said, in this case, it was teenage girls. I filmed a video before when I was talking about unpopular One Direction opinions, and in that video I mentioned that One Direction was not a band, they were a brand. And that is my favorite saying to use whenever I'm talking about One Direction and their mistreatment, is the whole brand not band thing, because they were so heavily branded that it really took a toll on them, and you'll see what I mean when I get into these subsections in a second. But there's just such a distinction between the band and the brand. Like, who are they really and who are they being made to be so that they can sell records? It's not uncommon for celebrities and artists to be branded a specific way in the music industry to make them seem more appealing to a target audience. I'm gonna use Kesha as an example.
I feel like when the management tries to brand any artist in the music industry to be appealing to a certain liking, I feel like there's a balance. Like, everything, you could overdo something. You could overdo eating sugary foods. You could overdo eating everything. It seems like in life you can't overdo. You see what I'm saying? As you know, I'm only 21. You know what I'm saying? I'm only 21 years of life, but I just feel as though it's like you can't overdo working out, because then it's healthy, but then you could overdo it. You know what I'm saying? It could weaken your heart because you constantly, you know, put in a heavy, pressurized workout constantly. You know what I mean? Like up-tempo, tedious, intense workouts, which can be weaken your heart, and it can be unhealthy. You can't overeat junk food. You can't overeat too much food because the acids and all this and the sugar, natural sugar. It's just like, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, not to get off topic, I just feel as though when they overdo their branding them to make them appealing to a certain liking, it starts becoming unrealistic, I feel as though. You know what I'm saying? This is just my thought and my opinion. Comment down below what you think. Do you think when a management starts to overbrand their artists, and it's also challenging because then artists end up compromising themselves so much that they end up feeling empty inside and not themselves, and they feel like then depression seeps in, and then sadness seeps in, and then, you know, you're constantly pushing yourself to just do something, but you're not even, like, you know how you could be physically somewhere but you're not mentally there? It starts like with all those things. I feel like starts to seep in because the unrealistic views that people are coming to approach. Oh my goodness, now you're like, I can't believe you did. And then it's like, in the back burner behind the scene, it's like I was told to do that. Like my management made me do that. Like, but you're not gonna, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's hard. Like, I feel like it's very sad to put the artist in a hard rock in a hard place, and I feel like that's what their management just did.
When Kesha was first put into the spotlight, she was told by her management to behave like this crazy party girl
like she's
who just wanted to get drunk and have sex in order to sell her music. But later, when she was not with her record label anymore, she revealed that that was not her at all, and she made music that was more authentic to who she.
I feel like, and then that's where it starts, making artists resort to drugs, anything to distract ourselves from the pain or the mistreatment. I feel as though, like Liam, if I'm not mistaken, he was drinking, like even before performing, after. You know what I'm saying?
She is, and now you see that she's a completely different person because she's being herself. She has said before that that persona was just completely not her. It was something that was made and created for her. So it wasn't like she was being herself, it was this brand that she was given, and it's the exact same way for the boys of One Direction. First and foremost, I think the lightest part about being branded is the fact that they were being told how to dress constantly. Yeah. I think this like is most kids. Prominent like, in the Up All Night era, obviously.
I understand. Sorry guys to keep pausing the video. I understand that when they first coming up, they were like basically teenagers, but still, as a person, you have free life, free choice. So let them be themselves. Like, let them choose what they want to wear. Because if you never get a chance to have free choice of how to approach something, like for example their style, like bro, it's not that deep. Let them dress how they want to dress. If you're constantly taking that away, right? When it comes to the opportunity, when they do beat themselves, they're like, I don't even know what to put on. I don't even know what to buy. I don't even know how to like dress, because they're constantly being told to put on this persona. And then when they're finally being themselves, it's like they gotta learn their whole self entirely. Like they gotta learn their whole self, because they don't even know what they like. They don't even know what they don't like. But it comes as far as to know they don't like being. They know they didn't like being treated a certain way because they've been treated that way so long. See what I'm saying? And they're numb to it.
Because Harry was famous for wearing like blazers, and then Liam would wear like the plaid, and Zayn would have the varsity jackets, Niall would have like the polo, and then Louis obviously had stripes. Yeah. This was their style. They had very specific set styles in this time, not even just on stage, but if you look at any of their photo shoots, live performances, they were all styled and dressed according to their particular like brand or set style that they had. That isn't something to really blink too much at. It's not really that big of a deal that they were being told how to dress, because I mean, they were really young at the time and they were new to the spotlight, so of course they had to have some kind of guidance, some kind of style they could.
I agree with what she's saying. Like, they had to have some type of guidance to know, as they come into the spotlight so young and learning about the industry and how it's like. But still, I feel like they should have, like, they're teenagers, but what type of teenagers don't like to go to Foot Locker or anywhere and get their own type of shoes they want to wear, that they like, to their liking? Oh yeah, I like them kicks. Like, I like them Adidas. I want to buy them. I want to get them Adidas, and they'll get them. You know what I'm saying? Like, or Converse. It's just a beginning to figure out how they like to be dressed to their own liking. You know what I'm saying? But when you take that away, just because you want to have, it's like you're manipulating them so much that they have to overthink, to the simple fact that they're not even taking consideration their own opinion, their own likings of things that's so simple, like dressing. Like, who don't want to dress to their own liking? I mean, it makes you just feel good. The same way, like, I got a fresh haircut, right? A man get a fresh haircut, a woman get their hair done, you feel good. You got your hair done to your liking, and you feel fresh, you feel new. You know, it's something about that fresh cut, that fresh, you know, fit, that fresh kicks on your feet. Like, it makes you just feel good. Like, you treated yourself, you feel good and great. I mean, it's temporarily. You just can't think materialistic or worldly. Like, you know, this is just a material. You see what I'm saying? Don't let it overtake you. But you can like things and you can treat yourself to things. Just don't overdo it. But I just feel as though no matter how old you are, I feel like as a kid, okay, when you're a baby, you don't know how to dress. When, like, you know, obviously you learn, you don't even know how to talk. Like, I feel like but when they get up to that age, like 3 or something, you should like at least. I feel like the more you teach the person on like, or a child or like teenager, whatever, you know what I mean, on certain things, like simple things like what to wear, like, oh, would you like this and that and that, and then you ask them, you listen to them and figure out why they like those things, and then you get their opinion. But it also helps them negate and how to make decisions, and it also helps them to show what they like. You see what I'm saying? And to know what they like over time. You see what I'm saying? Like, I go to church with my son, and I be like, son, you like this blazer? You like that? Or you like the suit jacket? You like the blazer, or you just like the suit jacket? You like this button up? You like this button up? So I don't think that go right. I think it look more parallel. It looks more, because then you look like you have a lot of colors on. And now I listen to him. You see what I'm saying? To see what he like. And you know, I just say, son, you know what? Let's just find something that at least matches, and you don't look like you want all these type of colors. You know what I mean, son? You know, to show him, but also give him free choice. He's his own person to wear what he want to wear, but also show him certain things. You know what I'm saying? But if you're just manipulating them to be appealing to this music industry for the management liking, and they can't even be genuine themselves, after a while it's just gonna start, things are gonna start slowly just deteriorating. Like, it's gonna start disintegrating their selves mentally, spiritually. They're not gonna be themselves, and eventually it's gonna become where they're so depressed or they're so sad, and you know, it's like they're gonna be like older as they are now, still trying to figure out themselves because they never had the time to figure out what they like, what they truly want. You know what I'm saying? Because when you start thinking of people, you start constantly listening to people's opinions and compromising yourself to do what someone else tell you to say, you just start feeling empty. You start feeling empty, you start feeling destroyed, and you'll always have people telling you something. Oh, you should do this. Oh, you should do that. No, you should do that. I think you should do that because of this. Do this, please. Like, do this. But at the end of the day, you're your own person. That's your own right to be your own person. If you're not harming nobody, if you're not hurting yourself or harming yourself, what's the big issue? They're teenagers, okay. They can still choose what they want to wear. It's not that deep, bro. They have the talent. They have the first of all, their persona doesn't define who they are, but what they like genuinely and what they like to, as in being themselves, is the definition of them being who they are. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, MK Squad? Do you feel what I'm saying here? Like, I hope you guys understand what I'm saying. You know, I'm not trying to confuse you or not. I just feel as though I get what she's saying about the music industry and the management teaching them as young kids, but it's a way to teach them where you're not manipulating them to a liking of something else rather than their own liking, because their own liking will resort back to them being genuinely themselves. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not no psychologist or psychiatrist or none of that. I just feel like it's just common sense. You feel what I'm saying? Like, how would you feel if you guys free choice of how you feel, or I mean free choice of how you even feel or how you say things or how you dress is taken away, and every day someone's in your ear, wear that, no, you can't have your hair this way, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not a healthy space, man.
And just go out there wearing whatever they want and look ununiform, really. So I guess it does make sense that they were dressing a certain way, but I just decided to mention it because it goes along with what I'm going to be talking about how they were separated and branded a certain way as individual people. There's an article that I'm going to have linked down below where Liam talks all about how they were made to dress a specific way and how he couldn't even wear stripes. Like, he was not allowed to wear stripes because it was Louis' thing. That's when I start having a problem. Like, you see these boys and it's like, okay, they're being told how to dress when they're on stage, when they're doing a photo shoot, whatever. But it got to a point where they were just not allowed to dress a certain way anywhere, like out in public, in pictures, or anything, because that was the other boy's
That's
brand. Like, Liam
ridiculous.
talked about how he could not be seen wearing stripes because that was Louis' brand and Louis' thing and it belonged to him. Another thing that goes along with being branded a specific way, or just having, not really being branded a specific way, I'll get more into the branding stuff in a minute, but right now I'm just talking about appearance restrictions. They were told throughout their whole career how they had to have their hair. They could not, like, pick. Harry opened up in an interview quite recently, like a few months ago, he opened up in an interview about how he was made to wear those, like, tight curls that he used to have in his hair back in, like, 2010, 2011, 2012-ish. He had his hair curly like that because his team made him have his hair curly like that, even though he didn't like it. He said in this interview that he didn't even like having his hair super curly like that. I did tons and tons of digging on this interview and I could not find it, so I deeply apologize for that. I really, really tried to find it, but I promise you it happened. I sat there and listened to the interview myself. If you know what I'm talking about and you find a link, please comment down below with the link and let me know, because I dug everywhere and I could not find this interview where Harry was talking about his...
It's okay, man. I mean, we appreciate you guys. I mean, I say you guys. Well, we appreciate her for, you know, digging up the information and taking the time.
And ROI.
You know what I'm saying?
But
To share this.
he did do an interview recently where he talked about not being able to have his hair uncurly. Zayn also opened up about appearance restrictions when they were in One Direction. He talked about
Zayn
how he
Malik
wasn't
says he
allowed to pick his own hair color. The Zayn we know now has had many different hair colors, but back in One Direction he didn't, because they wouldn't let him. He wanted to dye his hair and he couldn't because they wouldn't let him. The only thing they let him do was have the blonde stripe in his hair. That was fine. But other than that, they wouldn't let him have his own hair color, and they even wouldn't let him grow a beard in the beginning. Zayn did not want to be clean shaven. He wanted to have his face like with a beard on it or like with stubble on it, and his management would not let him. Straight up told him that that goes against their image and that they don't want to look older. They want to keep them how they look now, and he wasn't allowed to grow facial hair. Zayn said, and I quote, "It was mainly my beard, honestly. I wasn't allowed to keep it," he said. "Eventually, when I got older, I rebelled against it and decided to keep it anyway. That was just because I looked older than the rest of them. That's one of the things that is now quite cool. I get to keep my beard. I also wanted to dye my own hair when I was in the band, but I wasn't allowed to." That's a direct quote from Zayn himself about how his management would not let him dye his hair and would not let him grow a beard. So those are just some of the appearance restrictions that the boys had. There's plenty of interviews where they talked about how they were meant to have their hair a certain way, couldn't do certain things, had to dress very specifically, couldn't wear specific things. But it's not just about the appearance. The branding thing also applies to their personalities, roles in the band, how they behave, and how they're perceived. So basically, right from the start, when One Direction signed with Simon, they were assigned these roles or aesthetics or whatever you want to call it in the band. I think the most obvious one was them branding Harry as the flirt, womanizer. Even before the boys got out of the X Factor house, producers and Simon were already trying to brand him as a flirt. Like, there's segments on the X Factor where they make Harry, like, play a segment where he's, like, trying to go on a date with multiple girls.
My hair moved on my face. I don't believe it.
Yeah, I peeped that, and Harry just seemed like a laid-back, cool guy.
And there's even more girls. How have you not returned my tape?
This gets better, doesn't it?
Honey, I'll take you. Unbelievable. How many are there?
And everyone's like, oh, Harry's the flirty one. Like, he was branded that way before he was even out of the X Factor house, which blows my mind, and we'll get into more of that later, like Harry and his...
No, I want
That's a
to
whole
get
other
into
thing
the
that we
tea
need to talk
now.
about,
Get
but
into the
all
juice
other guys had their
now.
roles too. They branded Zayn as this, like, super dark and mysterious, cool kind of guy. And they branded Liam as, like, you know, the daddy of the group, the sensible one.
Yeah,
kind
dad
of holding
jokes.
the band together. They branded Louis as, like, this class clown, funny, boyfriend material type of person, which that was fitting for Louis at the time. But then as Louis grew up, his brand changed. All of them kept the same brand pretty much their whole, like, time in the band, except for Louis. He started off as, like, the funny, like, boyfriend material type of guy. You know, he was dating Eleanor, like, this regular girl who went to college and all that stuff. So they branded him out to be, like, this average boy that you would meet in your hometown, which makes him relatable, which makes people want to like One Direction. That was the point of the brand. But then later, as Louis got older, they changed his brand completely, and that's a whole other thing I want to talk about too. But you get the point. All of them were branded a specific way with their outfits and their personalities and how they were seen to fans and to the public. Now, this may seem kind of harmless, but it ended up actually really interfering with their personal image and their lives, and ended up staying with them and being carried with them throughout the rest of their time in One Direction. And I'm going to give you some examples. This is what Zayn had to say about his brand in One Direction, like how he was branded and marketed. Quote, "I'm actually quite easy, a happy-go-lucky sort of guy," he says. "The But there was a lot of situations that were almost created to make me be portrayed as the mysterious or quiet one. I guess that's just something that people buy into, and it helps them sell things. It's a product that's already designed and it sells. So Zayn said it himself that he was branded as someone that he's just not.
All of these personas is really like it really matches everything that, you know, they can't make this up, man. Like, you could tell you can see it. Like, Zayn always like laid back and chill, but I feel like that's just who he is. Like, everything don't gotta be a brand, you feel what I'm saying? I feel like the brand thing comes naturally. You know what I'm saying? You just be yourself, your brand will constantly be itself as you're being yourself. But when you start putting on all these multiple personas and faces and facades, it gets hard to keep up with them. You see what I'm saying? Because then you gotta realize, oh, this is what they brand. Oh, you know, it's like a lie. It's like you telling a lie to someone, and then they ask you another question, and then they catch you on a lie, and you gotta make up another lie and things to add on top of the other lie. It's just,
said it himself that he feels like his management was branding them specific ways to get things to sell.
They had to bring. They had to like really bring like professionalized like psychiatrists and stuff into designing these personas, bro. Like, I'm telling you, they had to really do some deep thinking to get this.
But it's just really sad to read this quote because Zayn said that he's like not the mysterious one. He wants to be happy-go-lucky just like the rest of them, but he couldn't. Another thing going along with that is Zayn being the quiet, mysterious one also caused a lot of trouble with like racism. Zayn was the only member of One Direction, obviously, who was a person of color. A lot of people agree that it's fucked up and that he shouldn't have been put through that. There's a whole article by The Fader where Zayn opens up about being the only one in a group of boys who's like a person of color, and you know, he's Muslim and stuff. He opened up about it and how hard it was for him at times with fans giving him a rough time and his branding and all of that. So if you want to check out the full interview, like I said, it will be in the description. It's definitely worth a read. I got a lot of information from Zayn from this just one interview, this one story. Had lots and lots of really useful information as to how he was treated when he was in One Direction. Then that brings me to what I was talking about earlier, how Harry's image is also harmful. We talked about how Zayn's image is harmful and how that's not even who he is, but for Harry it's the same way. He was branded as this flirty womanizer that likes older women since he was 16. Like, he's still a kid. Like, he's 16, not even 17.
How is this healthy? Like that's not even like that falls in a line of you can't be ignorant. Like, for the law, like law period, there's no ignorance to the law. Any law enforcement person will tell you that. So it's just crazy how this music industry could get a pass for making like he like cougars. Like he like cougars. Like he has a cougar. Like an older woman. Like sugar mama type lady.
Not even 18. Like, 18 would still be pretty bad, but 16? So then by the time he was famous, he didn't have a chance to show the world who he really is. He didn't have a chance to be like, hi, I'm Harry Styles, this is who I am, and this is what I stand for. Because his management decided it for him before he could even go out into the world and prove himself. They already decided for him, nope, you're a flirty womanizer who wants to sleep with older women and wants to sleep around. It makes me so angry, so sick to think about that, because that ended up following Harry his entire life. Still to this day, people like to think that he is that way.
Just traumatizing, bro.
His entire career. He grew up in the spotlight with that label.
Well, I'm sorry. That label, that record label they're signed to, will never succeed. Karma, what goes around comes around, bro. When you do something bad is bound to come back around. And I'm not wishing none bad on this record label. So I'm saying the energy is going to follow back up and resort. But it's just crazy how you mess up these talented, special individuals' life when you call yourself changing them, changing their lives, and making their talent be recognized and being who they are, to literally just mentally, physically, emotionally destroying them like nothing.
On him, hundreds and thousands of people not even knowing him personally and just being like, oh yeah, the flirt, the womanizer.
I feel like they should like go on strike
without even giving him a chance,
and like raise awareness. Like, it should be like awareness month for music industry artists,
which eventually spread to like media. So then interviewers will sit down with him and think it's perfectly funny and normal to sit down and be like, oh, so how many women have you slept with? Are you looking for an older woman? Or making parody songs about him liking older women and all this. Like, They just think that that's their place to just do that because that's who he is, when it's really truly not. And there's been countless times when Harry has tried to defend himself, and he has said it over and over again, like, women are not objects, treat women with respect.
Bro, sorry, MK Squad. This is like mentally bothering me, like the dark side thing. I'm gonna pick up where I left off reacting to this, but it's like very, 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 very not sitting well with me type. Because it's very disturbing how these good individuals' lives get like messed up. Like, health is wealth, bro. Like, if you're not mentally healthy or whatever the case may be and not in a great space, everything after that means nothing, bro. Like, it's just a blessing, and I'm grateful these guys made it through. You see what I'm saying? Like, some individuals, like, they're strong, like, they're courageous. Some individuals wouldn't know how to get through this type of stuff. Like, some people will be on their brink and just on their edge where they just fall off, and this could be like suicidal, bro. Like, bro, this could be like something that's really damaging. Like, what if they like just took their lives, took their own lives? Then what would the record label say? Then what would the company say? Oh, what a coincidence. And just move on? Like, bro. Guys, I'm gonna pick up. Just stay tuned for part 2, man. And peace, man.